my sister, the stranger. The first lie I told myself was that I could forgive her. 10 years is a long time to hold a grudge. A decade is an eternity to be without a sister. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our latest stories. Let's dive in. The train hissed to a stop, and through the rain-streaked window I saw her, Clara. She stood under a black umbrella, a lone, still figure on the bustling platform, just as I remembered, yet entirely different. The years had polished her. The wild hair I recalled was now a sleek, dark sheet. The faded jeans and band t-shirts were replaced by a tailored coat, her posture impossibly straight. She looked like a photograph from a magazine, perfect and untouchable. I stepped onto the platform, my old duffel bag heavy in my hand. The air was thick with the smell of wet pavement and diesel. She didn't rush to hug me, she simply tilted her head. "Ilara!" Her voice. It was the same, but the warmth was gone. It was a clear, cool tone, like a bell ringing in a winter frost. Clara. The name felt foreign on my tongue. The car ride to her house was a mausoleum of silence. Her home was like her, all clean lines and minimalist white. No clutter, no photographs. It was a house with no memory, a slate wiped clean. "It's lovely," I managed, my voice echoing in the sterile space. "I find peace in order," she said, placing her keys in a small porcelain dish. The clink was the loudest sound yet. Peace. What did she know of peace? She was the one who left. She was the one who shattered our world, and then simply walked away from the pieces. I was the one left behind to sweep them up. That night, I lay awake in a guest room that felt more like a hotel. The sheets were crisp, the pillows too firm. I was thinking of the accident. It played in my mind in a constant, grainy loop. The screech of tires, the shattering glass, the rain. Always the rain, plastering my hair to my face as I stared at the twisted metal. I was the lucky one, the one who walked away with just scars. She was the one who had to be cut from the wreckage. I thought seeing her would be a relief, a closing of a chapter. Instead, every moment with her felt like turning a page into a darker, more confusing story. The next day, I tried to bridge the chasm between us. I found an old photo album I'd packed, a desperate attempt to excavate the sister I once knew. "Look," I said, opening it on the cold marble of her kitchen island. "Remember this? The carnival? You were so terrified of the Ferris wheel." She glanced at the faded image of two girls with matching toothy grins. Her face was a placid mask. "I have a vague recollection." Vague. A vague recollection? That was the day our father had won her the giant stuffed bear she'd slept with for years. I flipped the page. "What about this? Our fort in the woods." "I remember getting splinters," she said, her voice flat, devoid of nostalgia. She was looking at the pictures as if they were of strangers. A cold dread began to coil in my stomach. This wasn't just healing. This was an erasure. "What's wrong with you, Clara?" The question slipped out, sharper than I intended. Her gaze met mine, and for the first time I saw a flicker of something behind her serene facade. It wasn't anger, it was pity. "Nothing is wrong with me, Ilara. I've moved on." "Moved on? You've amputated your own past. You don't remember anything. You don't feel anything." My voice was rising, trembling. That evening, the tension was a physical presence in the house. I couldn't stand the silence, the perfect order. I needed a crack in her composure. I needed to see the sister I lost, even if she was angry, even if she screamed at me. Anything was better than this hollow shell. I found her in the living room, reading by a stark floor lamp. "We need to talk about the accident, Clara." She placed a bookmark in her novel with painstaking care. "There is nothing left to say." "There's everything to say. You never even talk about it. You just disappeared." "I healed," she said simply. "No," I shot back, my heart hammering against my ribs. "No, you didn't. You're hiding." I walked closer, my hands clenched into fists. "Tell me you remember the rain, Clara. Tell me you remember screaming my name." She stood up slowly. She was taller than me now. Or maybe I had just shrunk over the years. "I remember the rain," she said, her voice a low, chilling whisper, "but I don't remember screaming your name." "You're lying." No. She took a step toward me. You're misremembering. Something in her eyes dared me to challenge her. My entire reality felt like it was tilting on its axis. What did she mean? I wasn't the one screaming, Alara. The air left my lungs. The room began to spin. You were unconscious when they pulled you out, I stammered, clinging to the version of the story that had kept me sane for a decade. Not at first, she said softly. She reached into the pocket of her silk robe and pulled something out. It glinted in the lamplight. It was a small, silver locket, our mother's locket, the one I thought had been lost in the crash. I found this in the car, lodged under the seat a week later, she said, her voice breaking for the first time. The sound was a fissure in a glacier. After you were gone. She held it out. It was dented on one side. She pressed the clasp, and it sprang open. I didn't need to look. I knew what was inside. A tiny, folded piece of paper. We were fighting, Alara, she whispered, tears finally tracing paths down her perfect face. Don't you remember? You saw the note. From him. The boy I wasn't supposed to be seeing. You were so angry. You said Dad would kill me. The edges of my vision started to blur. Static filled my ears. You said you were going to tell him. No. I breathed, shaking my head. It wasn't true. It couldn't be. We were shouting, she continued, her voice gaining a desperate strength. I told you to stop. I told you to just look at the road. Flashes of memory, violent and unwelcome, burst behind my eyes, my own hand, not hers, reaching for the radio. My own voice, sharp with rage. You grabbed the wheel, Alara. The dam broke. I saw it. I saw it all. The slick road. The blinding headlights of the oncoming truck. My sister's terrified face, her mouth open in a scream I had stolen from her and claimed as my own hand wrenching the steering wheel to the side. The stranger in the room wasn't her. It was me. She hadn't amputated her past. She had survived it. She had survived me. Her perfect, orderly life wasn't a sign of coldness. It was a fortress, built to keep the chaos out. The chaos I had created. I looked from the locket in her hand to her tear-streaked face. For 10 years I had painted her as the villain who abandoned me in my trauma. The truth was infinitely more cruel. She had spent 10 years healing from the wound I had given her. I had spent 10 years pretending I didn't hold the knife. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more emotionally gripping stories every week. Thanks for watching.